Hello, everybody. This is Gerald Salenti, and it's Thursday, December 27th, 2024. December 27th, 28th, 29th, 30, 31, and then Happy New Year's. Anyway, that's what's going on right now. Well, on the market front, it wasn't a happy day. The Dow was down over 300 points. Let's see, the S&P fell 1.2%, and NASDAQ fell 1.7%. But, there's still a good year for the markets. But the other news that's important is the yield on the 10-year benchmark Treasury. It rose another 4 points to 4.621%. So that keeps those interest rates high and those mortgage rates high and the dollar high. And that's why you saw gold's down again today, about $14 at 2,616. Bitcoin 94,563 down, and Brent crude 73.76. 73.76. This is so important to see where Brent crude is because it's showing you how slow the global economy is. And the United States economy is doing much, much better than the rest of the world, as we report in detail week after week in your Trends Journal. China's industrial profits extend decline to a fourth straight month, dropping 7.3%. Profits slumped 10% year on year, October following a 27.1% plunge in September. These are industrial profits. Again, this is the second largest economy in the world. It's very important to see what's going on. And it's global. It's global. And this is despite the stimulus measures that they've been trying to inject into the economy. And again, what killed the Chinese economy is their 3 years of zero COVID policy. And it's destroyed the world economy. And no one talks about it. It was artificially propped up with zero and negative interest rates and trillions of dollars of fake money backed by nothing and printed on nothing. And after the lockdowns, they've lost hundreds of millions of people, lost their lives and livelihoods just in China, billions around the world. And then, by the way, that's why you have a big immigration problem, because people are trying to get out of these countries where there's lack of basic living standards, government corruption, crime, and violence. Again, COVID war made very bad things very much worse. China's EV sales to overtake traditional cars in 2025. China's gone electric. They're more advanced and they're subsidizing it. That's why they're going up. And it's important to note that this is an article in yesterday's toilet paper record, the New York Times, how GM fell to 16th from the top in China. General Motors was a pioneer in China, where for a quarter century, the company drew enormous profits and vied with Germany's Volkswagen as the top seller of cars. Those days are over. GM sales in China have entered a death spiral, falling 42.5% in the first 11 months of this year. No shit. And this is the fucking crap that they're telling you. General Motors was a pioneer. No, they weren't. They were lousy fucking pieces of shit that went over to China who couldn't manufacture crap and gave them all the high tech, from heavy industry to high tech. They gave China everything they didn't have before. All the manufacturers that wanted to make more money left Europe, the United States, went to China, built plants, of which they were partners on, only 49%, China owned 51%. And now China doesn't need them anymore. They got everything for free. Hey, but we made a lot of money back then. This is serious, and it's only going to get much worse. Yep. China's sales overtake traditional cars in 2020. Yep. Electric vehicles. And what else? Turkey cuts interest rates for the first time in almost 2 years. Policymakers, shitheads, policymakers, little motherfuckers and fatherfuckers that are in control of the gang, policymakers, cut the key rate to 47.5% from 50%. Annual consumer price inflation dipped to 47%. You see what's going on in the world? This is serious. 47% inflation rate. It dipped. Irish central bank chief says uncertainty higher than in lockdown. Ireland's top central banker said that rate setters are facing more uncertainty now than during the early stages of the coronavirus pandemic. Not the coronavirus pandemic, scumbag politicians locking down the world, making up shit. Stand 6 feet apart. The wind blows exactly in 6 feet. Doesn't go up, doesn't go down, doesn't go around, goes in straight lines. Yep. And what else we got here? And remember, sanitize your hands before you jerk off. Oh, remember that little bitch up there in Canada, one of the places? Don't have sex, don't have sex. I'm an ugly broad. Nobody would screw me. You can't screw anybody. Don't forget to wear your mask. Don't forget to wear your mask. Oh, the masks that, let's say, these masks do not eliminate exposure to the risk of any disease or infection, but you better wear them. This COVID war has done more crap than it's imaginable. And this is the bullshit they give you. And they called it a pandemic on March 11th, the World Health Organization, 2020, when the grand total of 4,219 people were dead out of 8 billion. More people fell down the stairs during that time and died. Big U.S. banks reinforced dominance by grabbing huge slice of industry profits. Isn't that nice? Financial Times. The 4 biggest U.S. banks were on course to capture their largest share of the industry's profits. The bigs own everything. All we are plantation workers of Slavelandia, and you could thank the scumbags, the Clintons, doing away with the Glass-Steagall Act, doing it with the Jimmy Carter, allowing interstate banking. It was only intrastate banking. Bank of America was only in California. Yeah. They own everything. What else? This is from the Wall Street Journal today. Will 2025 be a watershed year for return to office? And they give you the numbers. 1/3 of U.S. employers mandate that employees will be in the office 5 days a week, down 16% from a year ago. Okay. 25% of U.S. companies offer full, flexible arrangements, down from 33%. And hybrid arrangements, when companies require a certain number of days in the office, but leave at least one for remote work, are growing in popularity. 43% of U.S. companies have hybrid office policies, compared to 29% a year ago. DirecTV has cut costs by shedding around 30% of its physical space. At Yelp, staffers left offices in 2020. The company cut its office space by over 90%. The office building bust is going to bring down the banks. Not a mention of it anywhere. It's going to happen. Yes, people going back to work, but the banks are going to go bust, and you could bank on it. And by the way, Google up Castle Systems with a K. Your office occupancy rate, the 10 largest cities in America, I think it's about 50.4%. Or 51.4, something like that. So All the businesses that depend on commuters are getting screwed, and not the way you like to be screwed. And again, they're going to be defaulting on this stuff. Here's an article in yesterday's Wall Street Journal. Ballooning costs rewrite the math of owning a home. Isn't that nice language? And then they go on to say, rising taxes and insurance premium intensify the lack of affordability. Rising taxes. Fucking scumbag prick politicians who never work a day in their life stealing our money. Stealing our money and calling it taxes as they get all their benefits and they give it to their bureaucrats as well. When they retire, they get pensions and they have an easy life. Yep. Robbing more of our money week after week, day after day, and year after year, from the state level to the federal level, to give it to their buddies and themselves. Credit card debt set to hit record levels. Already 36% of Americans went into debt this season, one recent report found. From November 1st to December 31st, the consumers spent nearly $1 trillion. Yep. 28% of credit card users have not paid off the gifts they bought from last year. But the rich are getting richer and the billionaires are getting more billions. And again, nobody has a right to talk to the president. You don't got $1 billion, shut your fucking mouth. You got $1 billion, then we could talk, all right? Here's an article. Americans are exhausted. This is AP. By political news, TV ratings, and new AP NORC poll shows they're tuning out. Yep. Tuning out from the prostitutes, the media whores to get paid to put out by the corporate pimps and government whoremasters. And again, subscribe to the Trends Journal. Again, we took last week off, but next week we're going to be on January 2nd, your top trends of 2024 coming out. Yeah. Or subscribe and pay $5 a day to the Wall Street Journal. This is the front page of it. Tsunami victims remembered 20 years later. What the fuck do I care? Tsunami victims? Hey, how about all the Palestinians that are being slaughtered every day? Not a word, not a peep from the shit prick. And I can't say the word because that's who's running it. Some lady from the UK, that's the editor-in-chief of the Wall Street Journal. Not a word about, in this edition, not day after day for the last several days, not one word about the genocide being committed by Israel against the Palestinians and how many are being killed each day. But I got to know about a tsunami that happened 20 years ago. And going on to the genocide gang, Israel sees, this is the shit that in the Wall Street Journal today, sees a chance to remake Mideast. Isn't that nice? Sees a chance to steal more fucking land and kill more people. But that's the crap that they spew out. Here, villagers in Syria bristle at Israel's incursions. Bristle? They're pissed off that Israel's coming in and stealing more land. And I don't want to hear the fucking shit that God gave you this land. Shove it up your ass. Oh, God told Abraham 3,500 years ago. That was in the good book. And when did God disappear? Because it come back in 3,500 years ago, and he only spoke to Abraham. Didn't speak to anybody else. Abraham, this is the bullshit that they sell, that the people swallow. Let's see. This is from antiwar.com. Israel kills at least 58 more Palestinians in Gaza over 24 hours. Now, that was on Monday. Let's see over here. Oh, this is today. Haaretz. Israel raids, evacuates one of northern Gaza's last hospitals. Israeli forces raided the Kamal Adwan Hospital, one of only 3 medical facilities in northern edge of Gaza Strip on Friday, ordering dozens of patients and hundreds of others to evacuate the compound, officials said. Official pieces of shit. In a separate incidents across Gaza, Israeli strikes killed at least 25 people on Friday. One of those strikes on a house in Gaza City killed 15 people. The deadly strikes come a day after reports of Israeli forces killing 50 Gazans on Thursday, and not a word from the prostitutes about it. Kill all Palestinian lives, don't matter. Again, imagine if they were doing this to Jewish people. Oh my God, how terrible. Or Americans, or Germans. Oh yeah, 5 Germans got killed in a guy killed 5 Germans over there in a car, a Saudi guy. Yeah. But 50 dead, hospital being destroyed, throwing the people out that are sick and dying. It's okay. This is from antiwar.com. U.S. funded group removes report warning of famine in North Gaza after complaint by U.S. ambassador. Yep. The Famine Early Warning System Network, a project funded by U.S. Agency for International Development, has removed a report from its website that warned it was highly likely famine is occurring in northern Gaza after a complaint from U.S. Ambassador Jack Lew. Yeah. Isn't that something? Israel strikes several Houthi sites in Yemen as retaliation escalates. And it just keeps getting worse because from Haaretz today, Houthi military sites in Sana'a struck in attack by U.S. and UK. What is the United States and the FUCK UK doing there bombing Yemen? They're going to ramp up this war. Yep. They're going to keep ramping it up. And it's only going to get worse. There's an article. Trump inaugural donors look past January 6th. 4 years ago, dozens of companies denounced the invasion of the U.S. Capitol and pledged to withhold support from those who disputed the 2020 election results. Now, many of those companies are lining up to fund Donald Trump's inauguration. It's a crime syndicate. The billionaires are in charge. They're buying their way in. They're buying their way in, and they own it all. Look at the data, the credit card debt, the lousy jobs that people have. But hey, the billionaires, you got $1 billion, you could talk. Otherwise, money talks and bullshit walks. So that's just some of what you got. You know, we talk about inflation, by the way. Someone gave me this old clip from a newspaper, 1939. You see over here, it says, you can't see it, all of it, it says Mohegan. And that's where we're broadcasting from, the old Mohegan Market. It was like an old A&P. And this is from 1939. Hudson River sparkling fresh caught shad. Nothing sparkling in the Hudson River. They poison the General Electric, all the crap in the water. Ready? 5 cents a pound. Meringue pies, lemon, pineapple, 15 cents each, or 2 for 29 cents. You want to buy a pound of cream cheese? 19 cents. Grape juice, 2-pint bottles, 29 cents. Electric light bulbs, 2 for 25 cents. There's another place. Yep. Buy a Mother's Day cake. Large variety, decorated for Mother's Day, 29 cents each. I mention this because inflation is not going away. It's only going to increase. They've robbed us of our money. What happened? 1939, 1940, 1941. World War II. What they did during World War II, you couldn't raise the prices of anything. World War II ended. They lifted the restrictions. Inflation skyrocketed. You listen to these old jazz songs about how bad inflation was back in the late 1940s. And it's just kept going up, going up, going up as they keep robbing our money, creating a fake economy as the rich get richer and everybody else gets poorer. And that's where we're at. So we're going to be coming out with our top trends for 2025 next week. And we'll see you then. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, please go to our website and donate and subscribe to Trends Journal. And you donate. We're doing everything we can. We can't do it alone. If the billionaires gave us money, we'd be changing the world with what we have. Again, look at the comments on the YouTube, the people that subscribe. They never saw a magazine like it, and everybody's very thankful for it. So we need your help. We can't do it alone. United we stand, divided we die. See you next week.